Hello and welcome to the Bundesliga prediction show, the final one of the season, Matchweek 34. Obviously, it seems like roles have reversed because obviously normally it's Rory that's doing this for me. But obviously, as many of you have noticed, Rory has been away the last 4 or 5 weeks. So it's great to welcome him back. And yeah, Rory, how's fatherhood treating you over there?
Oh, it's lovely to be back. And fatherhood is an absolute roller coaster ride. So yes, my absence has been for a very good reason. For the birth of my first child. It's been amazing. Absolutely loved it. But was absolutely delighted to jump on tonight and do the last prediction show with you. Missed the show, missed all the footy. So yeah, it'd be good fun doing this with you this evening. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a pleasure to have you back as well. And obviously, we will have you back for the season ending show as well, which will be fantastic too. But yeah, we've got to get our work moving on to predictions. Obviously, yeah, match week 34. There's not much left in the season. Don't forget, guys that are watching, to like, comment, and subscribe on the video as well. We've made quite good progress the last couple of weeks due to the vlogs and things like that. So we've raised a little bit in recent times, but we want a strong end to the season as well. So don't forget to recommend us to your friends as well. And obviously, we are in partnership with Bundesliga boxes and Bully News as well. So don't forget to check them out. Runa's fantastic site, and obviously Rich's brilliant. The best gift for any Bundesliga fan, Bundesliga boxes. So, yeah, without further ado, and Rory, I mean, we're starting with your team as well, aren't we? So, yeah, I know that you don't like leading out on Stuttgart normally. So go on, while it's your first show back, I'm going to let you lead out on your beloved team, who obviously have got a Pokal final next week as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. So I don't mind doing this one because basically there's nothing riding on it so it's slightly more pressure off. I think we say pressure off Stuttgart in the sense of they can't get into the European mixer any longer from an automatic sense, and the aforementioned Pokal final is to come, and obviously a huge opportunity to be back in Europe, but also to win a trophy. Obviously, for the home side of Leipzig, this is obviously a huge game for them to try and take something out of what's been a really wretched season overall. And I can see why some people might think that Stuttgart have got a cup final to prepare for, and therefore won't take this game as seriously, and also the fact that Leipzig need it more. But honestly, I've been so unimpressed by Leipzig in recent times, from what I have seen of the footy that I've half looked at, and obviously looking at the form that Leipzig have been on, it's not captured my imagination. The fact that VfB have also managed to scramble a couple of results together. Obviously, a good win last time out against Augsburg. Obviously, another team that kind of are on the beach, so to speak. So honestly, I could be predicting a couple of rogue ones here, just because it's the last set of results for the season. But I reckon Stuttgart might actually do Leipzig here, and they'll want to go into that cup final against Bielefeld on good form, feeling good about themselves. They have to, because the connotations of them losing the cup final are really huge against the Bielefeld side. There, of course, have been on this amazing run. I've also been promoted back to the Zweite Bundesliga, so they're having an amazing season. With all that in mind, and the fact that Stuttgart have got Leipzig's number, they've beaten them the last 3 occasions, I think. So I will go for maybe a shock, but I'll say 2-1 away win for Stuttgart, just to kick us off and put the pressure on Leipzig.
Yeah, big tip. I mean, it is a hard one to tip this, as you say, because Stuttgart they have places to play for as well ahead of the cup final. I mean, every footballer wants to play in a major cup final at least once in their career, and this is a great opportunity for some of those kind of fringe VfB players to maybe get the name on that starting 11 next week as well. As for Leipzig, as you say, it is a bigger game, but I mean, let's be honest, realistically, the best they're going to get is 6th, and like Conference League isn't exactly going to get the heart racing progressing too much in East Germany, is it really, after they've been in the Champions League so many years in a row? But like as Justin kindly mentioned on Tuesday it was, this would be the first time that Leipzig haven't been in the Champions League since they got in the Bundesliga. Incredibly, not in the Champions League, in Europe. It'd be the first time they've not been in Europe. So that'd be a hell of a stat, really. So I am actually going to go the other way, Rory. I'm actually going to go for the Leipzig to get a win, but I think it'll be a good game. This one, I'm going to go for a 3-2. I could definitely see Stuttgart causing problems, but I just feel as though they've had a lot of defensive issues this year. And I think with Leipzig's like increased, reliance on this game, I do think they'll just about get over the line and win this one 3-2. But yeah, it should be a good game, definitely, to kick us off, that one. And then obviously we've got a big game, obviously for Dortmund, who incredibly have it in their own hands as well. I mean, I was thinking about this, Rory, because we, basically, I think you leaving the show gave kind of Dortmund a push forward, really, didn't it? Because we talked about how bad they were for most of the season, and through 26 games, they were 11th, incredibly. It's just unbelievable. 26 games, they were 11th. Since then, they put on 19 points in 7 games since then. So 6 wins and a draw. The only draw was that impressive one at the Allianz Arena as well against champions Bayern. So, I mean, it's been a hell of a run. They battered most teams as well in that run, scoring a lot of goals. And as a result, they need a 2-goal win. Let's not forget, it's not any win. They need a 2-goal win to guarantee Champions League, no matter what happens in Freiburg. So you've got to be looking at the home team. Obviously, Kiel, unfortunately, relegated last week. I mean, they've done just about everything right this season, but just too many goals conceded, too many goalkeeping errors, really, cost them. They still have that one amazing record on the line, though, to score in every away game of the season. So, I mean, that would be a hell of a record. It's obviously not the easiest place to go and get that result. So I am going to go for them to get that goal, but I still think Dortmund are going to win easy this one. I've gone for a 4-1 home win. But if Kiel can get that record, it's a hell of a great achievement to score in every away game in the maiden Bundesliga campaign. So, Rory, what do you think?
First of all, I'm absolutely happy to take my medicine in saying that I completely wrote off Dortmund for not only Champions League, but I categorically said in shows gone by that they weren't getting into Europe. Full stop. So, hands up. I'm absolutely happy to take my medicine on that, because they've gone on a great run, haven't they? And to be in this position, they've got to be very pleased with what they've done of late. Massively agree with you. I think they will get over the line. I also do want Kiel to get to uphold that record of scoring in every away game. Exchanged a lovely message with our newfound friends, the Holstein Kiel Athens fan club, the other day on Instagram. It was so nice to see such a small club in terms of the German kind of structure being well supported around the globe. So that was lovely. I think I'm in line with you, and I think I'd say 4-1. But also crediting back to probably one of Kiel's most famous days was the reverse fixture, wasn't it? Their 4-2 win. In Kiel, and that was an amazing game that they played. Don't think it'll go the same way, but I just love the way that they've approached pretty much every game this season. But 4-1. I can very much go for. Then taking us on to next game on our list is obviously Hoffenheim taking on the champions, who have obviously been on their jollies and been having a good amount of fun. They've been saying goodbye to obviously a legend in Thomas Muller, and we've already seen quite a lot of confirmed outgoings and rumours around them. They're getting stuck into their business straight away, are the champions, to maybe secure a bit of a legacy, even more of a legacy going forwards. But the game itself holds more pressure for the home side. Obviously, Hoffenheim need to get the job done. They've been in, a season to very much forget, and it might be hard to forget if they actually end up in 16th place and then are, as a result, relegated, go down in history for them as obviously the worst season ever that they've had. Very hard to predict anything but an away win, despite the fact that Bayern have been on their jollies, nothing really riding on it for them. And I think from a relegation point of view, Hoffenheim will be desperate. And funnily enough, was it? This was the same fixture this time last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They beat. No, they obviously beat Bayern to help Stuttgart come second in the table. Ironically, which was a great game that they played, because I think they were down twice and then they came a Kramaric second half hat trick.
Yeah, it was. They killed it that back end,
which was an unreal game. I don't see it happening again though. I think Bayern will probably win. Maybe 2-1 I might go for. And I think it obviously just makes things a little bit more exciting from a relegation point of view. I know obviously the connotations around it. I think Heidenheim need a big swing of goals, don't they, to completely leapfrog anyone. So don't see that happening, but I don't see Hoffenheim winning either. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think because of goals scored, it would have to be a 7-goal swing. So, I think they'd take it. If you offered them a 2-1, they'd take that tomorrow any day, really, because it'd mean that Heidenheim would have to win 6-0 in that case, which, let's be honest, isn't happening, basically. But actually, I've got other views on this game. I just feel as though, the fact that Bayern have already been in Ibiza and everything celebrating, I just feel as though they're almost showing that they really don't care about this game, basically. And I think this has happened many times in the past, that teams have been, on the jollies before final games, and they've just not showed up, basically. I mean, you imagine it. You've been in Ibiza, probably having a fair few drinks, you know what I mean, celebrating Muller's final days as a Bayern player. And I mean, you're not going to be that motivated, especially going to a place like Hoffenheim, you know what I mean, which is not the most motivating ground to play in, with all due respect to Hoffenheim fans. But I have got a feeling that they are going to repeat it, I really do. I think they're going to repeat that famous win at the back end of last season. I just feel as though Hoffenheim they need a point. Only a point would be enough to mathematically keep them up. But I just feel as though they're going to produce one of those weird Hoffenheim performances where they just finally come good in this one. And I think they're going to get a 3-2 win. I don't know why, but I just think the stars are finally going to align this season and just about save the bacon right at the final moment. But that'd be my 2 cents. So moving on to the other game, which obviously if Hoffenheim do win, if my tip's right, then it effectively become irrelevant. But obviously if Bayern do win, which a lot of people will still tip this weekend, then Heidenheim do have a chance of famously coming out of that bottom 3, don't they, for pretty much the first time since probably the 10th or 11th match day, I would say. They've been in there a long, long time.
Yeah,
in that
long
bottom
time.
3. They have finished well. They got that big win last week, which gives them, if worse comes to worse and they don't pull it off, they'd still have the playoff to go by. So, I mean, obviously they've done well for that. They've avoided automatic relegation and will back themselves in the playoff, given Bundesliga teams' record in that. This game's a hard one to tip because Werder, obviously, as a result of their 0-0 draw last week against Leipzig, are out of the European contention. They'd need a massive swing, basically, an enormous swing, like something like a 20-goal swing, which is clearly not going to happen, basically. So they are out of Europe as far as anyone's concerned, really. But I'm still not sure whether Heidenheim are going to be good enough to beat them. I've been umming and ahhing over this one. I've actually gone for a Bremen win because I just feel as though Bremen are ultimately a better team. They've still been playing well in recent weeks. I thought they were really good against Leipzig last week, unlucky not to win. I can see Heidenheim shooting off to a lead early doors to put a bit of pressure on. But then I think Bremen will come back and win it. I think it's going to be a 2-1 away win, this one. What do you think, Rory?
Yeah, I mean, again, credit has to be given to Werder for turning their season back around because, again, 2025 early doors was not kind to them. They were having a truly awful time of it after such a good Hinrunde. I mean, for this, they need a massive swing. They'll give it a good go, and Heidenheim will also give it a good go. So it might play to being quite an open game, which would be quite nice. But I can probably get on board with what you said there in terms of Heidenheim maybe going all guns blazing early doors, maybe getting a goal lead if they don't get a couple goals. I mean, if they get 2 early goals, then, game on. And especially if Hoffenheim go a couple goals down early, then you're thinking, oh, this could be on. So that might be exciting. But I think, their clinicality and their lack of goals has been obvious all season. That might come back to haunt them. And I would probably say I'll sit on the fence a bit more. I'll say 2-2 draw, but I think I'll lock that one in. Then over to Freiburg, and this is probably one of the, if not the game of the weekend for match week 34. It's pretty much a straight shootout. Well, it is a straight shootout. Mark, between these two, Freiburg and Frankfurt. All season long, we've kind of admired. Well, I think we've admired the way that Frankfurt have played and the way that they've adapted after losing Marmouche. Freiburg, I think, at times, flattered to deceive. We said all season long that they just won the games that they needed to, and as a result, they've been in the mix without ever thrilling, apart from the odd big win, and having that more stable back line, if you will. Freiburg at home, Frankfurt. This really is tricky for me again, because I've lacked the inner details of things for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I really am shooting in the dark here. I kind of feel that Frankfurt really deserve it a little bit more. And so I will say a tetchy and ill-tempered 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tough one to tip, this one, isn't it? I'm also tempted to think that, I think they will get the result that they need, Frankfurt. Yeah, I do believe they will. I just think for the onus is obviously on Freiburg, because they've got to imagine that Dortmund are going to win. They know they have to win this game, ultimately. I'm really not sure, to be honest. I feel as though the away side should get the win. A lot of Germans want to see Freiburg in the Champions League, definitely, because, I mean, they've been so close a few times before as well. Let's not forget. I think it was only 2 seasons ago when they had that last gasp shootout with Union Berlin, I remember. Either the last day or the second to last day it was for a Champions League slot as well. So I do feel as though Frankfurt will get the result. I could see it being 1-1 till late on, but then Freiburg will stick the keeper up, and I can see Frankfurt getting a last-second winner, rolling it into the empty net when Atabulu has gone up or something. So, I am going to go for I know I'm probably looking a little bit too far ahead there, but I've gone for a 2-1 Frankfurt win. But, I definitely think Frankfurt will get there some way or other and keep their place in the Champions League. Let's move on to the next game, which is the first absolute dead rubber of the day. This game is as dead as a dodo, basically. It really is. There's absolutely nothing lying on it. So I don't know what kind of teams will be out there for this one. We could potentially see some rested players, some key men left out in this game. Obviously, Asende is suspended for Augsburg after that clumsy red card last week again in another dead rubber game against Stuttgart. Ultimately, it would be sad to see Augsburg end on 4 straight defeats, because they've given us so much quality this season. I feel as though it's been their best season as a Bundesliga club since we've been doing this show. Anyway, obviously, they did have that year under Marcus Weinzel where they finished 5th, but they've given us so much quality, haven't they? But I just feel as though once again, for the second season in a row, it's in danger of ending on a bad note. For Union, they also had a poor result last week as well against Heidenheim. So this is 2 teams that just look like they want to get on the holidays to Ibiza or to Sardinia or wherever they want to go this year. So it's a very hard one to tip, but something tells me that Union are going to nick this one. I don't know why. I've seen this before from Augsburg, that they end up finishing seasons on such an underwhelming kind of way. And I do think that Union are going to get a 1-0 win. I've no idea why, to be honest, but I'm basing it more on the fact that Augsburg do have this habit of finishing seasons really poorly. So, 1-0 Union. Rory?
Yes, it's a tricky game to call, because there's absolutely zilch riding on it. Just want to say good evening to Yona and Balam as well, checking in with their comments. Hope you're both doing well. And yeah, got the baseball cap out for good old Ralph Hasenhüttl, who's sadly no longer with us in the Bundesliga. Bless him. We'll come on to his former side shortly, won't we? Oh God, I mean, yeah, boring, but I'll have to sit on the fence and say 1-1. Maybe a Claude Maurice goal if he's still fit. Like I say, I'm completely out of the blue, out of it right now. But yeah, been a strange end to the season by the FCA, and Union also a bit odd, but that's been them under Baumgart, I guess. So I'll go 1-1, I reckon. Then on to next game is, definitely something riding on this, particularly for the home side who want to confirm their involvement in a European competition for next season, which would be a fantastic way to celebrate what's been a really impressive season for Mainz, taking on last season's Bundesliga winners by Leverkusen, who unfortunately for them don't have anything to play for. They are nailed on second place, cannot go up, cannot go down, and really starting to see the wheels in motion, Mark, for maybe the deconstruction of what has been a lovely team to watch in the last 2 seasons. Really, we know the head coach is on his way. We know that Jonathan Tah is moving on. There's starting to get quite a lot of momentum around the Florian Wirtz to Bayern story. Pretty sure that Jeremy Frimpong is nailed on to go to Liverpool and replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, yeah, it will be a very different Leverkusen side that we see come start of next season. But for this game, I think this is the one where I feel that in theory, the underdogs, aka Mainz, will do the job because of just the way that I've seen Leverkusen drop off in recent times. Sure, they'll want a nice send-off for the aforementioned players, but I feel the quality that Mainz have, especially at home with their attacking talents and the whole squad overall, I think they'll get the job done. So I'll go for a 3-1 home victory, actually.
Yeah, I think you've got a lot of logic there. I mean, as you say, this is a Leverkusen side now in, detransition, really, isn't it? I mean, basically, a lot of these players aren't even going to be there. The likes of Wirtz, Tah, Frimpong, as you say, that's the big story in England at the moment, that he's going to Liverpool. Yeah, we already know that a lot of these guys are going to leave. Who else? I mean, there are others that could be on their way too. Boniface is linked with the Premier League as well. Schick was also actually linked with Bayern a couple of weeks ago, ironically. So yeah, we are going to see, this is the kind of final parade for some of these guys, and how much will they really care after the big send-off last week against Dortmund, Jabby with the fans. I just don't think they're going to take this one that seriously. And as you say, it's against a Mainz side who are resurgent, and to be honest, they've never really been or got on a poor run performance-wise. They just had that little run where they couldn't get over the line in games, really. But obviously flying back to form last week with that impressive 4-1 win at Bochum. And they should be able to get the win that guarantee them Europe here as well, for me, which would be great to see them back in Europe as well, because, I mean, an excellent little club there in Rhineland-Pfalz. And I agree, I'll stick with you, Rory, and go for a 3-1 home win, which would see them back into Europe. So, yeah, let's move on to the second absolute dead rubber of the weekend, which is obviously Borussia Mönchengladbach against Wolfsburg. 2 teams, Rory, that I think last time we met and did a show together were both going well, really. But I don't think either have won since then, basically, have they? Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Gladbach were 5th last time we did a show, actually, which is, yet another kind of late season collapse from Gladbach, and has led to both criticism from the fans, and Gerardo Seoane is once again under pressure now. And to be honest, even if he wins this game, it might not alleviate the pressure now after failing to get into Europe and not even coming close to Europe, really, in the end, in truth. For Wolfsburg, obviously, their manager's already paid the price, as Balam kindly alluded to as well. I just don't see them Yeah, they've just been really poor in recent weeks, to be honest. They've not looked interested in games, and they're obviously going to go through massive transition as well next season. A lot of players probably going to see a lot of comings and goings with that squad, as they'll probably spend big money to try and get back into Europe as well. So this is another one that's impossible to tip. It really is. But I'm going to go for just what my heart says, and I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw, this one. But I'm not sure why, really. But, you know, will we see strong teams? But it's going to be 2-2 for me. Rory?
Yeah, strange game to end on for both sides. A strange end for them, especially the way that they're both going not too long ago. It's a really sad, disappointing end for both sides' seasons. For Gladbach, I mean, obviously, if Leipzig do what they need to do and beat Stuttgart and Gladbach can win, they'll at least secure a top half finish, which I think will be the first top half finish for a couple of seasons. If you're clutching at straws as a positive, I guess. But that's pretty much it, I'm afraid. So yeah, 2-2's a fair shout. I might go one slightly different and go for a 2-1 home win. Fancy Gladbach again for no logical reason as to other than what I think maybe the fact that they're at home and might get a nice send off. Wolfsburg, if they go a couple goals down early, Wolfsburg I don't fancy their kind of motivation levels to be overly high. And we'll maybe capitulate. We will see. Then moving on. I've got a big game for the home side. FC St. Pauli taking on already relegated Bochum. This big game for Pauli. They need to get a point to confirm their Bundesliga status for next season. They obviously did a great job against spoiling the party last weekend and drawing with Frankfurt. I think strong favourites in front of a no doubt big crowd, celebratory crowd, great atmosphere, no doubt will be set up in the Millantor. And I fancy them to get a comfortable win. There's one thing playing as a relegated team when you're playing against a team that kind of doesn't have a great amount of motivation, but when you're already relegated and playing against a team who are desperate to stay in the division themselves, I think it'll be a different kind of animal that they face. So I'll say 3-1 to the home side. I fancy they'll get a couple goals, which would be nice for them, and secure Bundesliga footy for them for next season.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to fancy the home side. I mean, the way they celebrated last week against Pauli, against Frankfurt, you would have thought they were officially safe. But I always find it a little bit dangerous, even though it would take an absolute miracle for them to go down. But it is football after all, And I felt as though the celebrations, in my view, were actually a little bit over the top, considering they weren't mathematically safe yet. I do understand that it's going to take just a quick look at the table. It would take an enormous goal swing for them to go down. You're looking at like 16 goal swing or something like that. Yeah. So I can understand the celebrations to an extent, but for me, maybe I'm a purist in a way, and I wouldn't have celebrated that much until you're mathematically safe, And if I was a Pauli fan, I would still have a few worries about them not managing to pull it off. We've all experienced massive disappointments as football fans, and crazy things can happen. But I mean, there will be a celebratory mood, and they should be able to get the win ultimately against a poor Bochum side who deservedly are going to finish rock bottom of the table. And nobody can argue that they don't deserve the relegation, really, as far as I'm concerned. Pauli, but let's not forget they do struggle to score goals at home. That's been an issue for them all season. I think 11 times, incredibly, they failed to score at home, which is just ridiculous in 16 games. And a lot of those games, they have had chances too. That's the crazy thing. But I do believe that they will get the win, and they'll get a few goals to finally give the fans a few goals to celebrate as well at the Millantor for this game, in my view. So that just about concludes it. The final prediction show of the season. We're at this point again, Rory. January, aren't we? It's crazy how time flies these days, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the table, the top two would remain the same as they've been for pretty much most of the season, really. Frankfurt would finish third, a very, very good third position if they can get that point that Rory predicted in Freiburg, with Dortmund completing one of the great escapes, really, from 11th on match day 26 to potentially 4th on match day 34. Wow. Then Freiburg and Mainz completing the European places with very, very excellent seasons as well in their own regard. Leipzig incredibly missing out on Europe, obviously, with the fact that either Stuttgart or Bielefeld will get that final Europa League place as well. Rory will be hoping it's going to be Stuttgart, but you never know. It is football after all. And we know that Bielefeld have been giant killers as well. Then, yeah, mid-table teams include Bremen, Stuttgart, Gladbach, Augsburg, Wolfsburg, Union. Then, obviously, into the relegation fight. It would mean that Pauli would get that 35 points, which would mean that they'd earned the survival. Hoffenheim would just about stay up if Rory's right with their defeat. Obviously, I predicted Heidenheim to lose as well, which would mean they keep that 3-point gap to Heidenheim. Obviously, Kiel and Bochum already relegated. So, yeah, that just about concludes everything, guys, for the season. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot to some great comments as well. Great to see Ballon back on form as well. Some brilliant comments in there. Great to see Yona again, too. Great to see you. And yeah, don't forget again to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw on the channel. Check out our vlogs as well. We had a couple of really nice kind of season-ending vlogs at the Betzer as well, and also at Nuremberg for their 125-year anniversary as well. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We'll join you again on Monday for the final review show to see if we're right, and then we will have another final kind of end of season awards ceremony as well, probably around about a week after the end of the season. So thanks a lot, guys. It was a pleasure as always. Great to see Rory return as well, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye bye, guys.
Cheers all.